Mansfield 103.2 Sport with United Carpets and Beds. Visit us in store for the latest deals on flooring and beds at Mansfield, Woodhouse and Kirkby and Ashfield. UnitedCarpetsandBeds.com.
Mansfield 103.2, the home of great music and the home of the Stags. It's Stags FM on this Saturday afternoon. Mansfield facing York at 3 o'clock this afternoon. We've got the final of the Stags FM quiz coming up. But first, talking to Sam Ogrizovic. Now, the Ogrizovic name may be one that if you're a football fan you recognise. Steve, Sam's uncle, of course, goalkeeper for Coventry for years and years and years. But today, we're talking about Sam and the story of his granddad, Nick, as well, and the incredible challenge that Sam and his brother Chris are taking on. So, what is it that you're planning to do?
So we're planning a charity trek in aid of Alzheimer's, the Alzheimer's Society, which sets off on the 1st of May, where we start from my grandfather's what was his home in Ravenshead, and we're heading back to a very desolate village in Croatia where he came from called Brolog. Now the trek itself we're undertaking with £20 and nothing's planned, so we're going to be hitchhiking, begging, stealing, borrowing, maybe less of the stealing, and we've got to get ourselves obviously across the channel and the 1,500 miles to the village of Brolog, and there's obviously a bit of a backstory to why we're doing that.
Yeah, tell me a bit more about your granddad's story, because he made this journey in reverse, didn't he, but in much more difficult circumstances.
Absolutely, yes. So, I mean, as a lot of sort of people from the Yugoslav, Eastern European area that are probably based in Mansfield now, he left under quite trying circumstances during the Second World War. He was 14 years old. His father was part of the Yugoslav partisans that fought to sort of keep the Nazis at bay, and unfortunately was sort of killed in the village square in a vengeance killing. So at 14 years old, my granddad was told to sort of up sticks and get out the way, because if they found out who was related to him, he could well be next. And so what then happened was kind of 4-year journey, if you like. So he fled under gunfire, they had to fight their way through, living in forests. Eventually he got put in a prisoner of war camp in Italy, and eventually had the opportunity to come to the UK to work, and never returned home. Stayed in touch with his mum and his sisters, who he left behind for a little while, but eventually the letters broke off, and obviously the political instability which surrounded the region for many decades prevented us from really knowing what happened to our family. So we're planning on going back, trying to find out a little bit more about maybe any family that obviously my papa left behind, and raising some money while we do it.
I mean, how much do you know about your granddad's journey and about your family over there as well? Was there much talk about it at home, or...?
To be honest, I mean, my as you can imagine, if you've gone through something or as much turmoil as that at quite a young age, I think you have to find a way to deal with it. So it's quite sporadic, kind of the news that we used to get from Papa. It wasn't something he spoke openly about. So, it's kind of something that we pieced together over many years, and a lot of it, he suffered from Alzheimer's in the final years. So a lot of it was family members coming together and piecing back this story, which we'd sort of tell back to him, if you like. And, that's how we've come about it. So, we don't know lots. We just know that he left his mum, Annika, and his 2 sisters. And we don't know what happened to them.
Of course, you're doing it for a great cause as well. It's all for the Alzheimer's Society, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, as a family, we feel very strongly about it. Obviously, my papa was affected by it. My other granddad, who I was incredibly close to as well, while he was with us in his dying years, he had it as well. And it's a horribly corrosive disease which rids you of dignity in your final years. And when you've gone through what so many great older people have gone through, and on the good of this country and so on, to end like that's not on, in our opinion. So to raise a bit of awareness for that cause and to raise some money would be superb.
So at the minute, you've got no fixed plan as to how you're going to get there. You've set aside, a week or so, and there's no idea as to how that's going to go up.
Yeah, no. So the only planning we've done is obviously with the media to try and get a bit of coverage. So, yourselves have been absolutely great in getting behind us, so we really appreciate that. We're very fortunate that I've got a friend who runs a company called Player Lair who are going to be giving us the gear to go, so at least we look official. And we've got a letter in 8 languages from the Alzheimer's Society, which again, basically, hopefully prevents us from getting arrested. So no planning in terms of the actual journey, because my granddad wouldn't. We've got some basic rules: 20 quid, a backpack, and we're not allowed to fly because he wouldn't have flown. But we're doing without the machine guns at either end. But other than that, no, we're going to 1st of May set off from Ravenshead, and hopefully some kind people will see us and want to help us out.
Do you think your blagging skills are up to the task?
Well, I don't know. I mean, Chris probably familiar that I'm not shy of a word or two on the cricket field, so hopefully between Chris and I we'll have that covered, but who knows.
So when you get there in the fullness of time, you're planning to plant a tree as well, I think?
Yeah, the one thing that we have organised is a translator for when we get there, so we can sort of make our way around the villages and try and, like you say, fill in some of the gaps. We'll be planting a tree in memory of my grandfather as well, and it's kind of, from a family perspective, quite symbolic that's obviously where he started and that we can kind of return there on his behalf, if you like. But from our perspective, it will be, I think, quite emotional and quite humbling. Going back to, it is a tiny village. I had a look on the most recent census. There's about 200 people that live there. The widest road is probably shorter than my arm span. So I don't know what to expect when we get there, but I don't think it'll be too much high-speed broadband or anything like that, unfortunately.
Do you have a plan as to how you're going to get back?
Yeah, that's obviously when we get there. The one thing that we can do is book our flights in advance. So we've done that, which gives us 8 days. So we'll be flying back from Zagreb. So the quicker we get there, the longer we'll have in Zagreb. And obviously, once we get to Zagreb, we'll crack out the credit card and we'll have a beer on Papa. We won't be doing the whole week on the £20. It's just the journey itself, and obviously coming back. But it's completely self-funded. So any of the money that's donated isn't going to any of that. It's the money goes straight to the Alzheimer's Society.
So just a quick question, Sam. You and I have known each other a long time, ever since you were a nipper. What sporting things are you getting into these days? I know you're a big Coventry City fan because of your uncle's history there. You still get to the Rico?
Yeah, it's still. I've been the last 2 weeks. Saw the win over the Spyrites a couple of weeks ago, which you guys will be happy about. But it's horrible because I've left Coventry to come to another football ground for the day, expecting to leave behind a relegation battle. And what do I walk into but a relegation 6-pointer? But yeah, still a big Coventry fan. Not playing any football at the moment. Might do a pre-season when that comes around in the summer to shed a bit of weight, and still plodding along with my cricket. So still involved in local sport.
Excellent. So just from me, give all your family my regards. It's always great to see your dad, and best wishes with the project. Hope it works for you.
Thanks very much, gents.
Yeah, best of luck. Are you checking in with Watco on the breakfast show while you're doing the trip, aren't you?
Yeah, so we're going to be hopefully dialing in every day to talk to Watco about our trials and tribulations. People can also follow us via our Twitter account. We'll be trying to keep that as updated as we can, and the website as well, which is papasjourney.com. And if anybody is touched by my grandfather's story or has got one similar, we'd love to hear about it, because obviously there's a lot of people in this area that have come from a similar Eastern European background, and if people do want to put their hand in the pocket and support us, that'd be great. They can go to our Just Giving page, which is at justgiving.com/papasjourney.
Excellent stuff. Fingers crossed from our point of view for a good phone reception over those 9 days then. And thank you very much, Sam Ogrizovic.
Thanks for having me.
papasjourney.com if you want to go and find out more, or justgiving.com/papasjourney.